I am going to try and throw this Surf here. I want my switch timer to come up because I am looking to switch on this matchup. I have a feeling they're going to throw a Dynamic Punch. Bring in the Giratina. If this is a Dynamic Punch, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, we do upload Pokemon Go content related to PvP, so please consider subscribing to the channel if that is of interest to you. And if you're a returning subscriber like Wade Wilson, thank you for the support. In today's video, we are going to be taking a look at some Ultra League battles on the road to rank 10, and we are knocking on the door. We are right there. After this set, you're going to see just how close we get, and hopefully we could hit that special rank 10. So I'm going to be using Double Ice once again, as you've been seeing, but in this video I'm making a bit of a change. I've been noticing that there are not a lot of Steel types in the lead, so I'm moving Articuno into the lead spot, putting Lapras, Giratina in the back. Let's see how it does. Let's get into the first battle right now. Alright, so we're heading to the first match against Elanticopus. I didn't see the name, sorry about that. Long name. All I know is that this is a Melmetal and we hate to see this. So what are our options here? We can't switch into Giratina because that's the only counter for Melmetal on this team. So I have to either bring in Lapras, which is still going to lose to Melmetal, or just stay in with Articuno. I choose to stay in with Articuno, debuff this Melmetal. If we're lucky, the opponent will actually go for a straight farm down. We'll get a second debuff, and then that's either going to force the opponent to switch out with the energy or stay in and throw all of that energy while debuffed against Giratina, which will literally do nothing. So the opponent here has decided they're going to farm us down. I'm okay with this. Bring in Giratina, opponent is throwing energy. This is what you want to see in this situation. Look how much Rock Slide does nothing. Throws again. When he does this, it makes me think either A, he doesn't have a counter for Giratina, which I find hard to believe, or B, he wants to maintain switch, so he's willing to just let the Melmetal go down here, throw all of this energy onto Giratina, which isn't doing much, and I'm going to commit to a straight farm down here. I'm farming down with Shadow Claw. Look how much energy we are farming up here. I got enough farmed up energy for an entire farm. I got energy for the ox, the goat, the pigs. I got everything going well for me here. So we're low in health. Obstagoon comes in, obviously hard counter for Giratina, but look at these Dragon Claws. I got so many of them. I'm going to throw them all. And after I throw this energy with the Giratina, I'm going to switch into Lapras. And yes, Obstagoon has a pretty good matchup against Lapras, but Lapras is super bulky. Night Slash isn't going to hurt it. Cross Chop will hurt a bit, but still it doesn't do too much to Lapras just because it's so bulky. So opponent switches out into Venusaur. This is good for us because we have the energy lead. So all I got to do is shield here. Good thing we didn't use any of those shields yet. I know it's going to be Frenzy Plant, so I got to shield this. And we could bait with Surf because the opponent knows that Ice Beam is going to knock it out, so they have to shield anything here. So I'm going to throw the Surf. They're going to get the shield. And now I'm throwing the Surf here again. And I have a feeling that he won't shield this because he knows it can't be an Ice Beam, most likely. Well, it could be an Ice Beam, but it's most likely going to be a Surf. And I prefer he doesn't shield because now it puts him in farm down range by letting that Surf damage go through. And I could shield up this Frenzy Plant and farm down with Ice Shard. If he used the shield there, it would have been unlikely that I would have been able to farm down before we got to another Frenzy Plant. So very good for us. Night Slash comes through, not going to KO. I'm going to throw the Surf here. This is going to get the shield. And what I'm going to do is over farm a little and try to catch a move on Giratina or just switch out entirely into Giratina because I know Obstagoon cannot farm me down and it doesn't want to take a Dragon Claw. So it has to throw energy and knocks out the Giratina. Gonna bring the Lapras here. We are at the Surf and we are going to take this game despite that horrific lead in Melmetal. So it just goes to show Lapras, super bulky Pokemon, does not care what it sees. It will put in work against almost anything. Fuzz 17-17 in match number 2 here. Seeing a Gyarados lead would have been very bad for the Giratina lead, but Articuno likes to see this. So here you're just going to go straight Icy Wind. I know it seems weird, but Icy Wind actually does the same amount of damage as Ancient Power, which is pretty crazy. Just goes to show how much they nerfed Ancient Power. So you always want to go for Icy Wind in this situation. It's going to debuff the opponent's attack as well and do the same amount of damage, so what's there to lose? Opponent switches out into Muck. Now you can see I don't really have much of an answer for Muck. I could bring a Lapras, but I decide instead I'm going to stay in with Articuno because Dark Pulse is not going to KO. I'm going to throw this Icy Wind here, and I'm just going to let the opponent take me out. Now once they do that, I will bring in the Lapras. And obviously Lapras has a very good match against Gyarados too. So I'm building up here for the Surf. I do beat it to the Surf. And By the opponent not throwing the Dark Pulse there, it makes me think they're either building it for a Gunk Shot or a Sludge Wave. So I would expect to shield this because they would have beat me to the Dark Pulse. So they're definitely going for something bigger. They are Sludge Wave. We should be able to farm down now. We are, and we have a Surf ready. Down to shield, but this is a really good position for us to be in. Opponent brings in Armored Mewtwo. I'm going to throw the Ice Beam here. Does slightly more damage for energy. And opponent lets that go through. Looking good. I am going to try and throw this Surf here. I want my switch timer to come up because I am looking to switch out of this matchup. I have a feeling they're going to throw a Dynamic Punch. Bring in the Giratina. If this is a Dynamic Punch, it is. Absolutely incredible. That is a game-changing play right there. We are going to build up for the Dragon Claw here. This is going to hurt, so it's going to get a shield for sure. This Gyarados definitely wants to throw a crunch at us. So I think in this situation, we have to consider shielding and committing to a farm down. So we have a lot of energy to throw. Oh, I guess we're not going to commit to the farm down. This makes sense too, because we'll either get the shield or they'll let it go down. They do get the shield. Now we just have to commit to the farm down. Can we beat it? We're able to beat it before the crunch. So that worked out perfectly for us. Opponent has Mewtwo, does not want to face that Shadow Sneak. They back out of the match. We are 2-0. Head into match number 3 against Papillon, 15 APR. Leading Perrserker. This is not the kind of lead you want to see with Articuno, obviously. Close combat hurts. Iron Head obviously going to hurt a lot. So it would be nice to get that Icy one off first, but we're not able to. So this could be a close combat. This could be Iron Head. Iron Head, close combat. Not what you want to see here. So definitely have to shield up that first one. Throw the Icy in here. Now Iron Head will be reduced this second time. So obviously we could take it if we want. Do get to the Icy Wind. It's a CMP tie. Would have been nice to get it off first, but we lose CMP to Perrserker. Iron Head comes out. Throw the Icy Wind here. And this will probably actually get a shield from the opponent because they're getting quite low in health. They do shield and they switch out into Swampert. And I should have switched out immediately here because Swampert beats us to the Hydro Cannon. So this was definitely a misplay on my part. I should have switched out instantly into Giratina, but it is what it is. We make a mistake. You guys will not make the same mistake because you are learning. So we bring in Giratina here. And this is a pretty good matchup for us, obviously. Opponent's probably building up for an Earthquake. So let's see if I choose to let this go or shield. I am going to shield it up. Okay, so at this point, I could throw the Dragon Claws, apply shield pressure. If not, I should exit this matchup with energy once the Swampert goes down. So they let it go through. I'm going to throw the Dragon Claw here. At this point, I guess they're not shielding. No, they're not. So we could probably farm down here before another Earthquake comes. Ooh, we fall just short. So that's quite a blow for us because this is most likely going to be an Earthquake, which is going to do a lot of damage. And Swampert goes down. We have energy ready to throw at whatever comes in. Probably the Perrserker. So Perrserker does come in. I'm going to throw the Shadow Sneak here. And let's see if this gets the shield. It does not. We should beat it to another charge. We're going to throw the Dragon Claw. At this point, Dragon Claw should be enough to KO with this low of health. And they probably have a charge move ready, so they do shield that up. And we almost farm down. They bring in Poliwrath. That is the worst thing. This is just a hard counter team. When this happens, there's very little you can do. Lapras, not going to have a good matchup here. Obviously would perform a little bit better with Skull Bash in this situation, but not much you can really do here. Poliwrath going to come through with the Dynamic Punch. It's going to hurt a lot. Trying to get off this Ice Beam here, but this is going to be a little too short. And the Poliwrath is going to hit us with another Dynamic Punch here. Going to bring back in Giratina. We'll probably get to a Dragon Claw, but remember that Perrserker has a charge move ready in the back. So even though this will likely KO the Poliwrath, we won't be able to farm down because the Perrserker banked a charge move in the back. They switch out. There it is, Perrserker. Gonna throw it at probably an Iron Head. Whatever this is, gonna knock us out. It is an Iron Head. So they're probably running Iron Head close combat instead of foul play. So lose that game. Very tight game. But you can see here, as we head into the next match against Corinto 0109, even when this team faces hard leads, the matches are so close. And I believe that is the sign of an efficient team that could perform really well. So we see Swampert here. Gonna let the first Hydro Cannon go through. Honestly, in this matchup, you actually don't need to shield anything and you'll win. So just throw Icy Wind here. I know a lot of people like to shield the first move on Articuno, but honestly, having 2 shields in the back with this team is really important. Opponent switches out into Snorlax. I'm gonna try to build up for the Icy Wind here. Throw this. And I believe this is where I'm going to make a very interesting play that you guys may consider quite questionable. So Snorlax is going to throw the Body Slam here. I'm not going to shield this. This will not KO. And I will get to another Icy Wind. Now I'm going to throw this Icy Wind and I'm going to switch into Giratina Altered. And the reason I switch into Giratina Altered is not because I'm a lunatic. It is because the Snorlax is so low and it's so debuffed that nothing will hurt Giratina here. And a lot of these Snorlax in Ultra League are actually running Superpower plus Body Slam, both of which will do nothing to Giratina. This Snorlax is running Earthquake, so that's a little bit worse, but you can see because it's so debuffed, it actually does nothing. And I was considering committing to a farm down, but because they have Earthquake, I didn't want to take a second one. So I just build up to about 100 energy, throw the Dragon Claw, Registeel comes in. Good thing this Giratina is still super healthy because I got no other counter for Registeel. So you can see these are not easy matches for us. We're facing some pretty rough teams. I got a lot of energy, so a huge energy lead. Even though because we're down in health, but because I have such a huge energy lead, it kind of makes up for the differential in health. So Registeel is going to throw here. I know this won't KO. I want to make the opponent think that the Giratina does not mean anything to me. That's why I shield. They make a great swap here into the Swampert, and I'm going to instantly switch out into Lapras here because I need that Giratina for the Registeel, as crazy as it sounds. So Swampert comes in here. I have 2 shields. I was expecting a Hydro Cannon bait here. Happens to be an Earthquake, so totally fine. Gonna throw the Surf here. This probably will get a shield from the Swampert. They actually choose to let it go, so I guess it makes sense because they had already wasted one. I'm gonna get off another Surf here against the Registeel, and I got 2 shields here. So this is an amazing situation for us to be in. Obviously this Registeel is gonna have to shield at some point. They could pretty much go for Flash Cannon here, so I'm gonna shield this up. They get to go for the less energy cost move, which is a little bit unfortunate, but gonna throw another Surf. They are in Surf knockout range now, so they have to start shielding. And we're gonna get the shield right there. I'm gonna build up for the Surf here. I'm actually gonna let this go down because even though I could have probably got to the Surf, I don't want to risk it in case they have like a second one really close. And I switch out there because the timer is coming up to ensure that even if it times out, I win by having 2 Pokemon to 1. But we beat it to the Shadow Sneak. Gonna knock out the Registeel. We take that match, and we are currently 3-1 in this set. And you know what the name is, Mr. 3-2, looking to clutch up here. See if I can finish strong. Lapras lead, very rough. Again, 2 ways to play this. Either you stay in with Articuno, you switch out instantly into Lapras, or you throw an Icy Wind with Articuno and then switch out into Lapras. It really depends how you want to play it. In this case, I did throw the Icy Wind. Let's see if I switch out after this. Looks like I'm choosing to stay in. So in this situation, basically what I'm doing here is I'm just deciding to sack the Articuno. I'm going to debuff the Lapras as much as possible and then bring in our own Lapras. And we'll leave the decision to them whether they want to stay in the Lapras mirror with the debuffed attack or if they want to switch out. So a lot of these teams, when they have a Lapras in the lead, usually the rest of their team is quite weak to Lapras in the back. I know this from experience because I used to run teams that struggled mightily against Lapras. So that time I threw the Ancient Power just to get it down a bit in energy, in health. And here comes the Lapras. So you're going to see these Surfs literally do nothing to us at this point. So we're going to throw our own Surfs. And with the Lapras staying in, it makes me think they probably don't have a counter or they're okay with letting the Lapras go down. So I'm going to throw the Surf here. Ideally, what you would want to do here actually is get it to the point where the opposing Lapras is able to be farmed down with Surf and just commit to a farm down. I think this is a mistake here, throwing the Surf, because their Surfs aren't doing anything to me. I could definitely take the hit and had a lot of energy here. When they bring in Giratina, it tells me they're super weak to Lapras. They have to have something in the back weak to Lapras. So I throw Ice Beam here, we get the shield. I think at this point, because they bring in Giratina, using the shield is correct, but I should probably consider throwing a Surf bait because they are looking to, like, why would you bring in Giratina into Lapras? You have to be weak to Lapras in the back, right? So they're likely going to be shielding anything because the Pokemon on the back probably doesn't want to see Ice Beam either. So I think throwing the Ice Beam here is questionable because even though I will get to another one, I could have definitely got the shield for Surf and got to the next Ice Beam a lot quicker here. So opponent, we have no shields now, so this is an optimal position obviously. And they're going to throw the Dragon Claw. And I should overfarm a little bit more than I did here. I could have probably gotten one more Ice Shard before they got to another Dragon Claw. Throw the Ice Beam here. And you could see they have a Togekiss in the back. So obviously, team was super weak to Lapras. I switch out into Giratina. This is still a winnable match. I have to make sure I throw 2 Shadow Sneaks here and hope that we could farm down with the Lapras in the back. The opponent plays this really well though, and they go for the Flamethrower, which is going to do a lot more damage than the Ancient Power would, and that's actually going to win them the game because I'm not able to get to that Shadow Sneak. And I believe Shadow Sneak plus 1 Ice Shard might have been enough, but it did look like I got the Ice Shard anyway, so we would have probably lost. Mr. 3-2 coming through again with the 3-2 set. You know how it is on this channel. But, we go to 28-12 here, and let me give you guys a little sneak peek into what happened after this set, because we went on a run with this team. 5-0 hype right here in the set, and you're going to see we jump up 29-78. Stay tuned for tomorrow's video. The main reason for this change to an Articuno lead was because I am not seeing any Steel type leads in Ultra League right now. And honestly, I recommend all of you start leading Articuno. I don't know if it'll change after I release this video, probably not, because it doesn't get that many views regardless. But Articuno lead, super sleeper lead right now. It's winning so many leads for me. I went on a crazy win streak after this. Like, you guys gotta stay tuned for the next video because Articuno put in work. Giratina Lapras in the back. This team has put in work. It's a little bit difficult to comprehend the strategy at first, but once you get used to it, it becomes really easy to use. And even in tough situations, you can come out with big wins. If you guys enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like, commenting, subscribing to the channel. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.